an Oscar-winning Best Picture that made just $17 million. Spielberg's brilliant flop, Eastwood's forgotten Iwo Jima duology, and a Soviet masterpiece too raw for US theaters. From banned Kubrick to butchered Fuller, from market garden epics to submarine classics, these war films were great, but audiences walked away. Because sometimes, no matter how good the movie is, people just don't want to watch certain wars. Movie 1, The Hurt Locker, 2008. Jeremy Renner, Catherine Bigelow made a film about a bomb disposal unit in Iraq in 2008. It won Best Picture. It won Best Director, making Bigelow the first woman to win that Oscar. And at the US box office, it made only $17 million on a $15 million budget. The Hurt Locker is proof that Oscar wins don't always equal box office success. Jeremy Renner plays a reckless EOD specialist who's addicted to the adrenaline of defusing bombs. Anthony Mackie and Brian Garagdi are his team members who just want to survive. The film is tense and realistic. No politics, no grand speeches, just the day-to-day terror of defusing IEDs in Baghdad. Bigelow shot it in Jordan in 2007. The production was kept small and nimble. The film looks and feels authentic. The bomb disposal sequences are masterclasses in suspense. You feel every second ticking, every wire that might be the wrong one. It's exhausting to watch. Summit Entertainment released it in limited release in June of 2009. It played art houses, made about $12 million in its initial run. Critics loved it. Roger Ebert gave it 4 stars. But audiences weren't interested in Iraq war movies. They were tired of the war, tired of the subject. The film couldn't break through. Then awards season happened. The film started winning everything. Golden Globes, BAFTA, then the Oscars. After the Oscar wins, Summit re-released it wider. It made another $5 million. Total domestic was $17 million. Worldwide, it made about $49 million. On a $15 million budget that's barely breaking even after marketing. The Hurt Locker is a masterpiece, one of the best war films of the 2000s. And audiences didn't care until it won Oscars. Even then, they barely cared. Summit had a Best Picture winner that couldn't crack $20 million domestic. That's extraordinary.
I'm not quite sure.
Sergeant.
Yes.
Ask your question.
Movie 2, Empire of the Sun, 1987. Christian Bale. Steven Spielberg made a World War II epic in 1987 about a British boy in a Japanese internment camp in China. He cast an unknown 13-year-old named Christian Bale in the lead. He spent $35 million. Warner Brothers expected a hit. They got Spielberg's first major commercial failure. Empire of the Sun is based on J.G. Ballard's autobiographical novel. Bale plays Jim, a privileged British boy living in Shanghai when the Japanese invade. He gets separated from his parents, survives on the streets, eventually ends up in an internment camp. The film follows his loss of innocence, his survival, his almost worshipful obsession with the fighter planes he sees. The film is beautifully made. Alan Davio's cinematography is stunning. John Williams delivered one of his best scores. Bale gives an incredible performance. He's in almost every scene, and he's heartbreaking. The scale is massive. Real planes, huge sets, thousands of extras. Spielberg was making an epic. Warner Brothers released it in December of '87, expecting Oscar nominations and box office. The film got nominated for 6 Oscars, including cinematography and score, but at the box office it died. Made only $22 million domestic on that $35 million budget. Worldwide, it made about $67 million. After marketing costs, it lost money. Audiences didn't want a Spielberg war movie without Americans. They didn't want a 3-hour film about a British kid in China. The subject matter was too depressing. A child's perspective on war didn't appeal to adults. Kids weren't interested in World War II. The film fell between every demographic. Spielberg's next film was Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, a guaranteed hit. He needed it. Empire of the Sun damaged his commercial reputation. Warner Brothers lost money on a prestigious Spielberg film. That wasn't supposed to be possible. But the film is genuinely great. just nobody wanted to see it. Movie 3, Casualties of War, 1989. Michael J. Fox, Sean Penn, Brian De Palma made a Vietnam War film in 1989 about an actual atrocity committed by American soldiers. Michael J. Fox plays a soldier who tries to stop his squad from raping and murdering a Vietnamese girl. Columbia released it, and audiences stayed far away. The film is based on a real incident from 1966. A squad led by Sean Penn's character kidnaps a young Vietnamese woman. They rape her repeatedly over several days. Then they murder her. Fox's character refuses to participate and eventually reports them. The film doesn't look away from any of it. De Palma shows the crime, the cover-up, the eventual court-martial. Fox was trying to break from his comedy image. He'd done Bright Lights, Big City to prove he could do drama. This was supposed to solidify that. Penn gives an intense, frightening performance as the sergeant. The supporting cast, including John C. Reilly and John Leguizamo, are all strong. The film is well-made and brutal.
Maybe if you had heard her screaming, you'd feel—
You don't tell me shit about screaming, boy!
Columbia released it in August of '89. Critics were mixed. Some praised the performances and De Palma's direction. Others said it was exploitative. Roger Ebert gave it 3 stars. At the box office, it made only $18 million on a $22 million budget. A clear bomb. Audiences didn't want to see American soldiers committing war crimes. Fox's fans didn't want to see him in something this dark. Vietnam War movies were already a tough sell. And the RP. Scenes made it impossible to market. Columbia barely promoted it after the poor opening. Fox went back to lighter fare. De Palma made The Bonfire of the Vanities next, which was an even bigger disaster. And Casualties of War became this forgotten Vietnam film that's actually one of the more honest depictions of what happened over there. But that honesty cold it commercially. Columbia buried it fast and moved on. Movie 4, Letters from Iwo Jima, 2006. Ken Watanabe. Clint Eastwood made 2 films about the Battle of Iwo Jima in 2006. Flags of Our Fathers from the American perspective. Letters from Iwo Jima from the Japanese perspective. Flags underperformed. Letters bombed even harder despite being the better film. The film is almost entirely in Japanese with subtitles. Ken Watanabe plays General Kuribayashi, who commanded the Japanese forces. The film shows the Japanese soldiers as human, scared, writing letters home, not the faceless enemy of every other World War II film. They're just soldiers following orders knowing they're going to die. Eastwood shot it back-to-back with Flags on a much smaller budget, $13 million compared to Flags' $90 million. He cast Japanese actors. The entire film is in Japanese. He was making an art film, not a blockbuster, but it's brilliant. The battle scenes are intense. The character work is deep. Watanabe is incredible. Warner Brothers released it in limited release in December of 2006. Awards qualifying run, it got nominated for 4 Oscars, including Best Picture. Critics loved it. Roger Ebert gave it 4 stars and called it one of the best films of the year. At the box office, it made $13 million domestically, exactly its budget. Worldwide, it made $68 million, mostly from Japan. American audiences didn't want to watch a World War II film from the Japanese perspective, in Japanese, with subtitles, even with the Oscar nominations. Even with Eastwood's name, the film was too uncommercial, too foreign. The subject matter was too uncomfortable. Warner Brothers lost less money on this than on Flags because the budget was smaller. But it's a better film, more intimate, more human, more honest about the cost of war. And nobody wanted to see it. Eastwood made a masterpiece and audiences rejected it because it wasn't about American heroes.
It's safe.
Movie 5, Flags of Our Fathers, 2006. Ryan Philippa. Clint Eastwood's companion film to Letters from Iwo Jima had a bigger budget, bigger stars, and an American perspective. Warner Brothers expected it to be a hit. It lost money too. Flags of Our Fathers is about the 6 men who raised the flag on Mount Suribachi during the Battle of Iwo Jima. That iconic photograph. 3 of them died in the battle. The other 3 got sent home as heroes to sell war bonds. The film is about those 3. Doc Bradley, played by Ryan Philippe. Renee Gagnon, played by Jesse Bradford. Ira Hayes, played by Adam Beach. And how being treated as heroes destroyed them. The film cuts between the battle and the war bond tour. It's deliberately anti-heroic. The flag raising was staged. The men weren't heroes by choice. They were just there. The real heroes passed away. These 3 survivors are treated like heroes, and it eats them alive. Eastwood is interrogating American hero worship and wartime propaganda.
हाँ ये तो है। तुम्हें पता है क्या? वो हम दोनों को साथ में भेजना चाहते हैं।
The film is beautifully shot by Tom Stern. The battle scenes are chaotic and brutal. The performances are strong. Paul Haggis wrote the script, and it's intelligent. But the film is long and structurally complex. It jumps around in time constantly. It's more meditation than action film. Warner Brothers released it in October of 2006, expecting a big fall hit. It opened to $35 million, then dropped. Made only $65 million domestic on a $90 million budget. Worldwide, it made about $132 million. After marketing costs, it lost money. Audiences wanted a traditional war film. They got a deconstruction of heroism and propaganda. The jumping timeline confused people. The anti-heroic tone turned them off. And releasing 2 Iwo Jima films in 2 months cannibalized both. Warner Brothers should have released them a year apart. Instead, they released 2 financial disappointments and wondered what went wrong.
Maybe there's no such thing as heroes. Maybe there are just people like my dad.
Movie 6, Come and See, 1985. Alexei Kravchenko. Elim Klimov made a World War II film in the Soviet Union in 1985 that's so brutal, so horrifying, so unflinching that it's considered one of the greatest war films ever made. Come and See never got a proper US theatrical release until decades later. The film follows a teenage boy named Flyora in Belarus who joins the Soviet partisans fighting the Nazis. He witnesses massacre after massacre. His village was destroyed, his family was murdered. He ages decades over the course of the film. Alexei Kravchenko plays Flyora, and his face becomes a mask of trauma. The things he witnesses destroy him. The Katyn massacre sequence is one of the most horrifying things ever put on film. The Nazis herd villagers into a church and burn them alive. Klimov shows it. The screaming, the burning, sadistic cruelty. It's based on real events, real massacres that happened in Belarus. The film doesn't look away. The Soviet Union released it in '85. It played festivals in Europe. Critics who saw it called it a masterpiece. But it never got US distribution. Too Soviet, too foreign, too brutal. American distributors wouldn't touch it. It was only after the Soviet Union fell that the film started getting Western attention. Criterion finally released it in the US in 2001, 16 years after it was made. The film found a cult audience among cinephiles and war film fans. Roger Ebert put it on his great movies list. It's now regularly cited as one of the best war films ever made. But in '85, Americans never got to see it. The Cold War prevented distribution. The content was too extreme. And one of cinema's greatest anti-war statements sat unseen in the West for over a decade. A masterpiece hidden because of politics and content. That's a genuine tragedy. Movie 7, Das Boot, 1981. Jürgen Prochnow. Wolfgang Petersen made a German submarine film in 1981 that's one of the greatest war movies ever made. In Germany, it was a massive hit. In the United States, Columbia barely released it, and it bombed. Das Boot is about a U-boat crew in World War II. The entire film takes place on the submarine, except for brief moments at port. It's claustrophobic. The crew is crammed together for months. The film shows the tedium of submarine warfare, days of nothing, then moments of terror when they're depth-charged or attacking convoys. Jürgen Prochnow plays the captain. The crew is full of great German character actors. The film is a technical marvel. Petersen shot in actual submarine interiors. The production design is incredible. You feel the cramped conditions, the smell, the fear. The film is apolitical. These aren't Nazi propaganda soldiers. They're just sailors doing their job. Some hate the war, some believe in it. Most just want to survive.
Kapitänleutnant Thompson, ein dreifaches
The original German version runs 208 minutes, nearly 3.5 hours. It played German theaters in '81 and made a fortune. Peterson cut it to 149 minutes for international release. That's the version Columbia released in the US in February of '82. It made $3 million at the US box office. Nobody came. American audiences didn't want to watch a 3-hour German film with subtitles about German submariners. Even though the film is brilliant, even though it got 6 Oscar nominations, including Best Director, nobody cared. The film found life on home video and cable. The director's cut got released on DVD and became a cult hit. Now it's considered a classic. But in '82, Columbia couldn't give it away. A German perspective on World War II, in German, for 3 hours. That was commercially impossible in Reagan's America.
Sie sehen uns nicht eins, Leo!
Movie 8, The Big Red One, 1980. Lee Marvin Sam Fuller fought in World War II with the 1st Infantry Division, the Big Red One. For decades he wanted to make a film about his experiences. He finally got the chance in 1979. United Artists let him make it. Then they took it away and butchered it. Lee Marvin plays a sergeant leading a squad through North Africa, Sicily, D-Day, and into Germany. The film is episodic, following this squad through the war. The combat is realistic, unglamorous. Fuller wasn't making propaganda. He was showing war as he experienced it. Confusing, random. Soldiers die for no reason. The film is honest about combat in a way few war films are. Fuller shot it in Ireland and Israel on a modest budget. The production was tough, but Fuller delivered a cut that ran over 4 hours. United Artists panicked. They cut it down to 113 minutes. Whole sequences removed, character arcs destroyed. The film became incoherent. Fuller fought them, but lost. United Artists released the butchered version in July of 1980 with minimal promotion. Critics were mixed. Roger Ebert gave it 2.5 stars and said it felt incomplete. At the box office, it made less than $7 million, a complete disaster. Fuller's reputation was damaged. His career never recovered. In 2004, film critic Richard Schickel reconstructed Fuller's vision using notes and surviving footage. The reconstruction runs 162 minutes. It's a revelation, a masterpiece. The film Fuller wanted to make finally visible. Critics who saw it called it one of the great war films. But in 1980, audiences saw the butchered version and stayed away. Fuller died in '97, never seeing his film restored. United Artists destroyed a masterpiece and barely released the corpse. One of the great tragedies of American cinema. Movie 9, A Bridge Too Far, 1977. All-star cast. Joseph E. Levine spent $26 million making an epic about Operation Market Garden. He got an all-star cast: Sean Connery, Michael Caine, Dirk Bogarde, James Caan, Elliot Gould, Gene Hackman, Anthony Hopkins, Laurence Olivier, Robert Redford, Ryan O'Neal, Richard Attenborough directed. And United Artists lost millions. A Bridge Too Far is about the failed Allied operation to capture bridges in Holland in 1944, the largest airborne operation in history. It was supposed to end the war by Christmas. Instead, it was a disaster. The film follows multiple perspectives: British paratroopers, American airborne, Dutch resistance, German defenders. It's sprawling and complex. The film is over 3 hours long. It's accurate to history. The battle sequences are well staged, the cast is committed. But the film is dramatically flat. With so many characters, nobody gets enough screen time. The all-star cast becomes a distraction. You're waiting for Sean Connery or Robert Redford instead of caring about the battle. United Artists released it in June of 1977, expecting a summer blockbuster. It opened okay but faded quickly, made $50 million worldwide on that $26 million budget. After marketing costs and the massive cast salaries, it lost money. Not a catastrophic bomb, but a disappointing underperformer. The problem was scope. The film tried to cover too much. Too many characters, too much history. It's impressive as a production, but uninvolving as drama. And audiences in '77 wanted Star Wars. They wanted fun. Not a 3-hour film about a failed military operation where everybody dies. The film has been reappraised over the years. Military historians praise its accuracy. But it never achieved classic status. Just an expensive, impressive, dramatically inert war epic that nobody wanted to see. United Artists bet big on star power and scale, and lost.
No! Oh, now we're in trouble.
Movie 10, Overlord, 1975. Brian Sterner. Stuart Cooper made a British film in 1975 about a young soldier training for and dying in the D-Day invasion. Overlord is a masterpiece. It uses real World War II footage intercut, with dramatic scenes shot to match. It's poetic, moving, and completely uncommercial. It never got US theatrical distribution. Brian Sterner plays Tom, a young man drafted into the British Army in 1944. The film follows his training, his fears, his premonitions of death. He knows he's going to die. The film builds to D-Day and delivers on that premonition. He dies on the beach. That's the film. Cooper shot in black and white to match archival footage from the Imperial War Museum. He cut real footage of the war effort, the bombing campaigns, the invasion preparations, with his dramatic scenes. The result is this blurring of documentary and fiction. You can't always tell what's real and what's staged. The film is deliberately anti-heroic. Tom is just a kid who gets swept up in history and cold. No glory, no heroism, just death. The film is also dreamlike and poetic. Tom has visions, premonitions. The film doesn't explain them. It just shows this young man moving toward his inevitable death. The film played British theaters in '75 and made almost nothing. Too arty, too uncommercial. It never got picked up for US distribution. Americans never saw it except at a few festivals. Criterion finally released it in the US in 2007. 32 years after it was made, the film is now considered a lost masterpiece. But in '75, it was just another uncommercial British art film that nobody wanted. Cooper made 2 more films and disappeared from cinema. And Overlord remains this beautiful, devastating film that almost nobody has seen. Movie 11, Paths of Glory, 1957, Kirk Douglas. Stanley Kubrick made an anti-war film in 1957 that got banned in France for 18 years. Paths of Glory is about the French army executing soldiers for cowardice during World War I. United Artists barely released it in the US, and it bombed. Kirk Douglas plays Colonel Dax, a French officer ordered to lead a suicidal attack. The attack fails. His superior General Moreau needs a scapegoat. He orders 3 soldiers court-martialed for cowardice. Dax defends them, but the trial is a sham. They're executed by firing squad. The film ends with soldiers singing a German song and weeping. No redemption, no justice. Just institutional martyr. Kubrick shot it in Germany for under $1 million. The trench warfare sequences are brutal. The tracking shots through the trenches became famous. The courtroom scenes are tense. Douglas gives one of his best performances. The film is angry. It's attacking military hierarchies, the class system, the way leaders send men to die and then blame them when they don't want to die.
You're a disappointment to me. You have spoiled the keenness of your mind.
United Artists released it in limited release in December of '57. Critics praised it, but audiences stayed away. Made less than $1 million. The French government banned it, called it anti-French propaganda. Switzerland banned it. Spain banned it. The French ban lasted until 1975. 18 years. Douglas's career was fine. He moved on to bigger films. Kubrick struggled for years. This was his 3rd film, and it bombed. He didn't make another film for 3 years. Then he made Spartacus, which was a huge hit, but Paths of Glory nearly ended his career. The film is now considered one of Kubrick's best. A perfect anti-war statement. But in '57, it was too angry, too critical, too uncommercial. United Artists buried it, and multiple countries banned it. One of cinema's great anti-war films was treated like controversial garbage. Movie 12, Catch-22, 1970. Alan Arkin. Mike Nichols adapted Joseph Heller's satirical World War II novel in 1970. Paramount spent $18 million on it. Alan Arkin plays Yossarian, a bombardier trying to get out of flying missions. The film is surreal, satirical, and deliberately confusing. Audiences had no idea what to make of it. Catch-22 is about the absurdity of military bureaucracy. Yossarian wants to be declared insane so he can stop flying combat missions. But Catch-22 states that anyone who wants to get out of combat duty isn't really crazy. Therefore, he has to keep flying. It's circular logic that traps him. The film shows the chaos, the arbitrary deaths, the officers who don't care about their men. It's black comedy mixed with horror. Nichols shot in Mexico with real B-25 bombers. The production was massive. The aerial sequences are impressive. The cast includes everyone: Art Garfunkel, Martin Balsam, Richard Benjamin, Bob Newhart, Anthony Perkins, John Voight, Orson Welles, all giving broad satirical performances. The tone is all over the place.
Don't worry about it. What am I supposed to do if I have to bail out? Use my handkerchief!
The film is intentionally nonlinear. It jumps around in time, repeats scenes from different perspectives. You see the same deaths multiple times. Nichols was trying to capture the novel's fractured structure. It doesn't work. The film is confusing and exhausting. Paramount released it in June of '70, expecting a hit. Nichols had just won Best Director for The Graduate. The novel was beloved. They thought this was a sure thing. The film made $24 million on an $18 million budget. After marketing costs, it barely broke even. Critics were divided. Roger Ebert gave it 2.5 stars. The film has defenders. Some people appreciate what Nichols was trying to do, but most audiences found it confusing and unfunny. The satire was too broad. The structure is too fractured. Paramount expected a blockbuster and got an expensive mess that nobody understood. Movie 13, Tora, 1970. Martin Balsam. 20th Century Fox spent $25 million making a film about the attack on Pearl Harbor from both American and Japanese perspectives. They wanted an epic, a serious historical recreation. What they got was a beautifully made bore that lost millions. Tora covers the events leading up to December 7th, 1941. American commanders are ignoring intelligence, Japanese planning the attack itself. The film is scrupulously accurate. Both sides are shown fairly. The Japanese aren't villains. They're military men executing a plan. The Americans aren't heroes. They're bureaucrats and officers who failed to see it coming. Richard Fleischer directed the American side. Two Japanese directors, Kinji Fukasaku and Toshio Masuda, directed the Japanese side. The film cuts between both perspectives. The Japanese sequences are in Japanese with subtitles. The film is trying to be an objective historical document, not entertainment. The attack sequence is spectacular. Real planes, practical explosions, meticulous recreation of the Arizona sinking. It's impressive filmmaking. But the first 2 hours are just meetings, intelligence reports, politicians talking. It's educational, but dramatically inert. Fox released it in September of '70, expecting a major hit. It opened okay, but collapsed quickly, made $29 million worldwide on that $25 million budget. A disaster. Critics appreciated the craftsmanship, but said it was boring. Roger Ebert gave it 2.5 stars. The audience wanted excitement. They got a history lesson. The film has been reappraised as one of the most accurate Pearl Harbor films ever made. But accuracy doesn't equal entertainment. The film is respectful to both sides, but engaging to neither. Fox lost millions trying to make a prestigious historical epic. Instead, they made an expensive documentary that nobody wanted to see. Sometimes historical accuracy is the enemy of good drama. Movie 14, Gallipoli, 1981. Mel Gibson. Peter Weir made an Australian World War I film in 1981. Mel Gibson and Mark Lee play two young runners who fight in the disastrous Gallipoli campaign. The film is heartbreaking, beautifully made, and barely broke even at the box office. The first half is about two young Australian sprinters who enlist together, their friendship, their training, the excitement of going to war. Gibson and Lee have great chemistry. The film feels like a coming-of-age story. Then they ship out to Gallipoli and everything changes. The Gallipoli campaign was a disaster. British and Anzac forces tried to take the Dardanelles from the Ottomans. They failed. Thousands died for no gain. The film shows the soldiers waiting in trenches. The British commanders were out of touch. The suicidal orders. The final sequence is Australian soldiers going over the top into machine gun fire. Lee's character dies running toward the guns. The film freezes on his face as bullets hit him. It's devastating. Weir makes you care about these characters, then watches them die in a pointless battle. The film is critical of British command, the way they wasted Australian lives. It's specifically Australian but universal in its anti-war message.
They're not gonna make us go, are they?
No, there's no point.
Paramount released it in limited US release in August of '81. Americans didn't know anything about Gallipoli. They didn't care about Australian soldiers in World War I. The film made $5 million domestically. In Australia, it was a huge hit, made over $11 million there. Worldwide, it made about $16 million on a $3 million budget. That's technically profitable, but for Paramount, it was a disappointment. Gibson became a star in Australia, then Mad Max hit 2 and he became international. But Gallipoli got lost. It's one of the best World War I films ever made. But American audiences ignored it. Just another foreign war film about a battle they'd never heard of. Movie 15, Merry Christmas, Mr. Lawrence, 1983, David Bowie. Nagisa. Oshima made a film about a Japanese POW camp in Java during World War II. David Bowie plays a prisoner. Ryuichi Sakamoto plays the camp commander. Tom Conti and Takeshi Kitano round out the cast. Universal barely released it, and nobody saw it. The film is about cultural conflict. British and Dutch prisoners held by Japanese captors. Both sides don't understand each other. The Japanese see surrender as shameful. The British see their treatment as inhumane. Bowie's character represents Western individualism. Sakamoto represents Japanese military honor. They're attracted to each other, but separated by culture and war. The film is deliberately paced, quiet, contemplative. Oshima is more interested in faces and moments than plot. The climax has Bowie's character kissing Sakamoto in front of the whole camp, a moment of defiance and intimacy. Sakamoto's character is destroyed by it. The film is complex about sexuality, power, and cultural differences. Sakamoto also composed the score, and it's beautiful. The main theme became famous, but the film itself disappeared. Universal gave it a tiny US release in August of '83. A few art houses, made maybe $1 million domestic. Critics who saw it were divided. Some called it a masterpiece. Others found it slow and pretentious. Bowie's fans didn't show up. They wanted rock star Bowie, not serious actor Bowie. Sakamoto's fans were mostly in Japan, where the film did better. Kitano wasn't famous yet. Conti was a respected character actor, but not a draw. The film had no commercial hook. The film is now considered one of Oshima's best. The score is iconic. But in '83, Universal had no idea what to do with a slow, meditative POW film with David Bowie kissing a Japanese man. They dumped it into a few theaters and forgot about it. Another great war film that almost nobody saw. An Oscar-winning Best Picture that made only $17 million at the box office. Steven Spielberg's first major flop that lost millions despite being brilliant. Clint Eastwood made 2 Iwo Jima films back-to-back and both bombed. And a Soviet film so brutal and realistic, it's considered one of the greatest war movies ever made, but never even got a US theatrical release. These were 15 great war movies that audiences rejected. Fuller's masterpiece butchered by studios. Kubrick's anti-war statement was banned in France for 18 years, an all-star epic that lost a fortune. De Palma's Vietnam atrocity film, and a German submarine thriller Americans refuse to watch. Quality doesn't guarantee success. Sometimes audiences don't want certain wars. Sometimes they don't want foreign perspectives. Sometimes they just want American heroes to win. These films told different stories, more honest stories, more complicated stories, and they paid for it at the box office.